I will never stop collecting retro games until the day I die. And I'm tired of you people telling me to sell my games. I would never sell. I don't sell. I only buy. So now that that's out of the way, I've got 20 new game pickups for you. I have a really large backlog, perhaps as many as 100 games that I got in recent times that I need to get through. And as with all my videos, I like to give a bonus at the end. You stick around to the end, I give you some sort of hidden gem bonus, something really cool. And in this case, I'm going to show you a really cool game that you probably never played and you didn't know about. And I'll tell you something cool about it too. So in no particular order, I'm going to show you what I got. I'm going to try to fly through these. Let's start with a really interesting one that's been climbing in value. Scalar for the Gamecube. Now this is for the PS2 as well. The PS2 version is not worth very much, maybe $12 to $15 Canadian, I do believe, and whereas Scalar for the Gamecube, complete in box, is worth anywhere between $40 and $50 Canadian. And this is complete in box. And actually, I'll start with the games that I got at the same time that I got this Scalar. And I'll try to tell you what I paid for them too. I don't have the receipt in front of me. But so I went to the retro. I got this from the local retro game store. And normally he has rip-off prices, but this one was $45, which was it was a reasonable price. So I said, okay, I'll take it. But I had previously nabbed 2 360 games from his crummy area section where he doesn't usually have prices on the games. Like they're like $5 games, $2 games, whatever. Whereas all the expensive games he's usually got behind the counter. So he thought these were worthless. And they were in the crummy bin area. Need for Speed Most Wanted, 360. Now this 360 version is exclusive. It is not for the PS3. So this is the best version of this game, and it is the rarest version of this game for that reason. And it's the most expensive version of this game. And it is climbing in value. And it's a great game on top of that. So this is worth about $30 roughly. Between this Scalar, a Ninja Blade, which is an Xbox 360 exclusive. It has a $10 tag on it. This game is also going up in value. I do believe it will become a $50 to $100 game. No doubt, no question. It just needs time. That's all. 360 is still fairly new. And this is like a Ninja Gaiden type of game, but better, in my opinion, much better. And it's a hidden gem that not very many people know about. So I got the 3 of these games. Remember, this is $45. Paid $60. So he went with the sticker tag on this, $10. This is worth about $30, roughly Canadian. He went with the sticker price, that's $55. Which means he gave me the $30 Need for Speed Most Wanted complete in box. These are all complete in box for $5. So you can get deals at retro game video stores. You just have to look and you have to know what you're looking for. How many people out there would know that Need for Speed Most Wanted is not a $5 Need for Speed game? So I got all of these together. And I also bought from him Trials HD Triple Pack. It has a game called Limbo on it. Trials HD, these are Xbox Live Arcade games that were put onto a physical disc. I think that this will go up in value over time. It's still fairly cheap. I paid about fair value for it. It was about $15. I didn't care to talk him down. I would have preferred to pay $12. I think $12 would have been a little bit more fair. But I'm more than happy to pay $15. It's not a problem. I would have paid even a little bit higher because it's in really good condition. I don't think the previous owner even played it. Like it's untouched. Let's look at the disc actually. Yeah, the disc has never been touched. Yeah, he never played it. It's quite obvious. The poor kid who owned this, I guess he wasn't too happy with this as a Christmas gift or whatever. But the real gem on here is Splosion Man. which is a platformer, action platformer, I guess you could say. There's some puzzles that you have to solve. You kill all the scientists. You're basically these scientists turned you into this monster that you now cause explosions everywhere, and your objective is to kill all the scientists and escape. But why it's a gem is because it's 4-player. That's a 4-player game. Trials HD is a classic. I don't care for it. It's one of those motorcycle games where, you know, there's the physics of the motorbike and you're just trying to complete the level as fast as possible. It's very similar to Flash games, very popular Flash games. I don't care for that game, and Limbo is a puzzle platformer. I don't care for that game either. Explosion Man is where it's at. So I got all of those from the local pawn shop. Now, you won't believe this one. You will not believe this. This is Darkness 2 Limited Edition, complete, mint condition. Like, you touch this cover, silky smooth. Brand new condition. Even has the poster. Like, this is legit. And I found this on eBay by pure fluke. Okay, so the seller had posted this as Darkness 2, not the limited edition, for $6.16 on the button. $6.16 Canadian, shipped to your door. Free shipping. Shipping alone is like close to $5. Okay, then this guy had to pay shipping fees plus eBay fees, which is like roughly 12%. Shipping and eBay fees before he made any profit. And plus he would have had to buy this. You know, if he's a reseller, he would have had to buy this from somebody else. I mean, you know what? The limited edition is worth, you know, roughly $15 to $20 Canadian. If you don't know what you have, it's not my problem. I did feel kind of bad for buying this, though. I was actually browsing his other games to see if there was something else I would want to buy just to, you know, help him make some more money. Because I did feel kind of bad because I was ripping him off. Because I know he didn't make any money. I sell on eBay, too. He did not make any money on that. Okay, so next game I paid $3 for. I do remember. I don't even want this game. It's Powerpuff Girls Him and Seek. I got it because it was $3, which I think was actually a ripoff. And it's Powerpuff Girls, and I love Powerpuff Girls, and I'm an insane collector who only buys and never sells. So I bought it. Now, it's actually not a bad game per se, but it's a kid's game. So basically, each level you go around, it's like a collect-a-thon. You're collecting different items, whether it be elephants and placing them in a bin. But there's also some combat, which is like a beat-em-up style combat action, side-scrolling action type of combat. And you do get to be the various Powerpuff Girls. Graphic-wise, it looks amazing. It's a beautiful game. The colors are great. It does look visually appealing. But the combat is so bland and so bloody basic that it prevents it from being a good game. And that is because it was targeted toward kids. So, yeah, you know, maybe I regret that purchase a little bit, but what can you do? Let's go ahead and do a game that I've wanted almost my entire life. And I finally have it. Quackshot for the Sega Genesis. What year did this come out? This came out in 1991. Wow. Yeah, and this game, it sold really well. I know it did. It's one of those all-time classics on the Sega Genesis. It really is. If you have not played this game or you've never heard of it, I highly recommend checking it out. It's only single player, which kind of sucks, but you are Donald Duck and you get different guns. and you got to go back and forth between the different levels. The graphics are like, the graphics and colors, they do a really good job making it look visually appealing. But yeah, it's an all-time classic. That's all I can say. All-time classic. This is not complete in box, but I do believe I paid $20. Next on the list, Army of Two Overkill Edition. So if you're going to get this game, the Overkill Edition is the one that you want. It's a little bit pricier, worth a little bit more. Don't remember what I paid. It probably was anywhere between $3 and $5. And I would have got this only because it's co-op. It's 2-player co-op. You can play through the campaign, split screen, pure co-op. These Army of Two games are famous for having great co-op. So if you have a friend that you like to play shooter games with first-person type shooter games with, this is the game for you. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. This is my second copy. I didn't even necessarily want this one, but it's about a $50 game, to be honest, if you were to get this on eBay. Sometimes you can get it for as low as $30. It does fluctuate. This is known as one of the best wrestling games of all time. It's not necessarily known as the best, because a lot of people, there's a lot of, the community is divided on what is the best. A lot of people like the N64. A lot of people actually think that No Mercy on the N64 is the greatest wrestling game of all time. But other people will tell you that what you're looking at right here is SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, is the greatest wrestling game of all time. And I'm going to tell you a secret about this game. This is a PS2 game, but it's actually 6-player. 1 to 6 player with the multi-tap. That's rare for a PS2 game. Okay, this was before the era when 6 to 8 player plus games were common. They're common now. They're done a lot more commonly now. But back then, this was like a gold mine. To hit a 6-player game, you just hit the freaking gold mine. Can you imagine playing this back in the day? So what year did this come out? This came out in 2003. Can you imagine playing 6-player? I was still in high school in 2003. You imagine going over to buddy's house playing 6-player? You could have a huge party. You could have 12 people heading on over for a huge SmackDown party. Like, that was unheard of. You guys need to understand that that really was a feature. That feature alone made this game legendary. But it is known for being a very good game, by the way. So it's my second copy because I do think it'll go up in value. I think I paid $25 for it. I thought it was a steal of a deal, so I couldn't resist it, even though I already own it. You know, maybe if it goes up to $50, maybe I'll have to sell it. Sometimes I sell doubles, okay? But never singles. I would never sell singles. I don't sell singles. If I don't have a double, I don't sell it. In fact, I own some games I own 4 or 5 copies of, and I haven't sold any yet. I might never sell them. I don't know. Okay, so next game, Resonance of Fate. So I had never heard of this game previously, but it's an RPG of some sort, and I've never played it. And I decided it was really cheap. I think I paid $12 for it. Maybe it has potential to go up in value over time. It's made by Sega. Sega makes great RPG games nowadays. So I'll read you the back here. Gorgeous cinematics, blazing gun battles, RPG is redefined. Don't know what that means, but from renowned RPG developers Tri-Ace comes a danger-filled journey into Basel, a post-apocalyptic steampunk machine-style world. Come out with guns blasting and explosive acrobatic gun battles as you uncover dark secrets and discover your true fate. Very cool. Shipped to my door, very, very cheap, with the manual complete. Mint condition. Clearly nobody played it. I love when I get mint condition games that that nobody ever played. Those are rare. Getting those are rare. Okay, so what have we got left? Let's quickly go through my 3 Switch games. I got Towerfall from Limited Run. And I got this because it's a party game. This is a 6-player party game. Remember what I mentioned earlier? It's much more common nowadays. Okay, it wasn't so common back in the day. And this is like a Smash Bros game, but you're like an archery game. So you're shooting each other with archery bows. And it's a party game. It's not meant to be single player. More people the better. And by the way, this started out as a PC game. And once I found out that it was being released on console, I had to buy it. I also got Super Mario Party for the Switch, brand new. This was an impulse buy, to be honest. And the reason why I chose this one over the newer one, the Superstars one, is because I wanted to try this one, being that this was the first one that they made for the Switch. And my assumption is that perhaps this is the better version. I'm assuming that they put a lot of care and effort into this one. Because you got to remember, if the Switch failed, Nintendo was at risk of going out of business in the hardware business. Because the Wii U was such a large failure, and it cost them so much money, that if the Switch was a complete failure, similar to that of the Wii U, there was a chance that they would have been out of the hardware business. So that's why I wanted to try this one. I decided, you know what, I know that the other one's probably better, but I don't care. I want to see what they built with the launch of that Switch. Next one is a game called Heave Ho, and I got this because it's also a multiplayer game. A little bit of a party game as well. It's 4-player. Never played it, but I will be playing it. Okay, I'll show you a really cool device that I got. I might have overpaid, but it is incredibly expensive. This is an action replay for the Nintendo Gamecube. I paid $65 for this. I was having a bidding war with some other dude. And we were the only two that knew what it was. Otherwise, if one of us didn't exist, the other guy would have got it for like $20. Maybe less, because we were having a bidding war down to the last minute. I paid $65. I know it's worth $100 plus. It's very hard to get. I think it'll only become harder. Now, it's not complete in box, as you can see, but it is complete, as in I have the CD and I have the action replay. I can use it. And I don't care that I paid $65 Canadian, because I want to use it. I was more than happy to pay it. It's not a problem. Would have preferred to get it for $20 though. That other guy that was outbidding me. Okay, so I got a steal of a deal on these last couple here. Silver for the Dreamcast. I forget what this is going for. It's like $60, $80 game probably, Canadian. $75 probably. Now, I was doing last minute bidding with another guy to get this. And again, I would have got this for $15 if it weren't for that other guy. We both knew what it was. And I knew the other guy that was bidding because it was done in a Facebook group, private group. I knew the other guy. And he told me afterwards, he said he forgot, like we were bidding back and forth, and he was looking for a meme to post, like a GIF. and you only have 1 minute. There's a 1 minute timer. You have 1 minute to outbid the next guy, and he took longer than a minute as he was finding the GIF. Paid $27 Canadian, shipped to my door. Shipped right to my door. Silver for the Sega Dreamcast. This is if this was 2-player, it would have been an all-time classic. So it's a hack and slash RPG. But what makes it very unique is that you get an AI partner to help you. And the different AI partners have different attributes, and they have different strengths and weaknesses. So you recruit allies with different abilities. Now, one thing I will say about the Dreamcast, it had a lot of good games, but not great games. So they had RPGs, action RPGs like Silver, but none of them were great. None of them made that masterpiece level. They were always mediocre. And I think that really hurt the console. They had so many good games, but they were mediocre. And you need those great, those massive hit games, those masterpiece of a game. You need those games to drive sales of your console. And that's what they lacked. They really lacked in the RPG department on the Dreamcast. They had all these mediocre games. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It was really sad to see the Dreamcast go out the way that it did. It was fairly successful for what it was, but nowhere near the PS2. They got absolutely slaughtered. Before the PS2 even came out, developers were jumping ship for the PS2. A lot of them canceled their Dreamcast games and went over to the PS2. That's a longer story for another day, though. Check out the audiobook Service Games, Sega, SEGA. That's what Sega stands for, Service Games. SE, Service, GA, Games. Check out the audiobook on that. They'll tell you all about the history. It's really, really cool stuff. Okay, so here's one where I literally got a steal of a deal. Like, I should be in jail. I'm actually waiting for the police to show up. They're going to arrest me. I got Batman Returns, Sega CD. Now, these are disc only. I don't remember what the prices are. I don't have a computer up in front of me to look it up. But I know this is, anywhere between $30 and $50 probably. Maybe more, because it's been a while since I checked. Disc only. I'm talking disc only prices. Chuck Rock, I don't remember. I know that these aren't cheap games. Dragon Slayer. I paid $10 for all three. That's equivalent to $3.33. $3.33. $3.33. Once again, $3.33. Now, I'm not one to brag, but that's what you call a steal of a deal. That's the literal definition of a steal of a deal. And I almost felt bad for because nobody outbid me. That's not my problem. If the bidders don't know what these are worth, that's their problem and your problem. You being the seller, that's your problem too. It's not my problem. Oh yeah, sorry. There are two more before I get to the bonus. Pinocchio for the Super Nintendo. Fairly good condition. Now, unfortunately, I would prefer the Sega version because when it comes to platformer games like Pinocchio, the Sega Genesis version is always better. 9 times out of 10, it's better because of the aspect ratio. You can see more of the screen. So, for example, perhaps in this game or many other games, like Toy Story, I believe, is one of them, you will be making blind jumps. And you don't know where you're going to land. You might die. You're jumping from platform over to who knows where. But guess what? On the Sega Genesis version, because the aspect ratio is zoomed out, it's not a blind jump. You can see more of the screen. In fact, I don't have my Batman Forever Sega Genesis game on me, but the Sega Genesis Batman Forever game is much better for that same reason. Meaning, in the Sega version, you can see the hidden rooms because you can see more of the screen. You'd be like, hey, I can see like that wall. Something's going on with that wall I know that's a hidden room. I'll go over there. But on the Super Nintendo version, you can't see it. It's off screen. So that's why platformers specifically are usually better on the Sega Genesis. But you know what? This is a tough game to find. I paid $30 for it, shipped to my door. It was a fair price. I took it. I still want the Sega version. I'm still on the hunt for it. And lastly, I've been wanting this for many, many years. It's not cheap. Very expensive on eBay. It costs about $50 on eBay. Like, I don't know why it costs so much. I think it's because it's so wide that an envelope won't work. You have to pay maybe $15 to ship it. I'm not really sure. So, whereas something like this, you could ship for $5, as long as you don't use bubble wrap. And this is, by the way, this is Canada Post. So maybe if you're in the States, it's different, but here the shipping is very difficult. So that's probably why this is now $50. But I want to use the Game Genie because the Game Genie makes games fun. Okay, back in the day, you got to remember, all these games were freaking hard as hell. Okay, so what you did was you got a Game Genie, and it made them fun again. And you could do different codes, make yourself jump higher. You know, you could do everything from more lives, level selection, to jumping higher, new power-ups, whatever. Invincibility, endless opportunities, endless amounts of codes, endless amounts of games. That's why I got this. And I'll probably use it for Pinocchio too. Guys, if you stuck around this long, you're here for the bonus. And it does not disappoint. Critical depth. Critical depth for the Sony PlayStation 1. So guess what? A lot of people don't know this. This was made by the same developers that made Twisted Metal 1 and 2. The good Twisted Metals. This is a fairly cheap game. I paid $20 for it shipped to my door. It's fairly cheap. You can still get it for cheap. And basically, it's like Twisted Metal, but underwater in submarines. And it is 2-player. Now, the catch is, this is a high-quality game. This is like, you know, AAA game. They put a lot of effort into it. It's Twisted Metal, underwater in submarines. The catch is, you either love it or hate it because it's very different from Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal, you're driving super fast, 300 miles an hour, blowing the hell out of everyone. You could drive from one side of the arena to the other side in a couple of seconds sometimes. And you could find another player like that and you're in full-on combat. Well, in this game, you're not driving 300 miles an hour. You're in a submarine. You're underwater. You're going fairly slow. And the levels are very big, meaning there's a lot of exploration. You might not run into another submarine for a while. And when you do run into another sub, it's a much slower paced style of combat. And so for that reason, some people don't like it. But you know what? A lot of other people love it. And they love it for that same reason. And that's where, either you love it or you hate it for the same reason. And I happen to think that it's a pretty dang good game. Would I pay $100 for it? No. But I will pay $20 or $25 or $30. Now I happen to have gotten it for $20. And I also, it's actually in mint condition as well. I don't think the previous owner played it very much. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I am trying to get to over 9,000 subscribers.